Captain Hyunwoo Kim stood on the bridge of the human exploration vessel New Seoul, staring at the strange signal on his screen. The distress beacon came from the graveyard belt, a part of space where no one wanted to go. Ships that entered that area had a bad habit of never coming back. "Captain, are you sure about this?" asked Dr. Sojin Park, the ship's scientist who studied alien ruins. She looked worried as she checked her data pad. "The Galactic Council says that area is forbidden. No ship has survived going near that thing." Hyunwoo nodded but kept looking at the signal. Something about it felt familiar, even though he had never seen anything like it before. The beacon was sending a message in what looked like old Earth language. That was impossible. Earth was thousands of light years away, and humans had only been in space for 300 years. "Tell me what we know about this ship," Hyunwoo said to his crew. Engineer Taemin Lee pulled up the reports on his screen. It appeared 3 years ago in an empty part of space. "The ship is huge, bigger than anything we have ever built. Every alien race has tried to get close to it, but their ships just disappear when they get within 50 kilometers. Communications Officer Eugene Choi added, 17 different alien ships have been lost. The Valerians sent their best warships. The Zinthari tried with their most advanced science vessels. Even the Krek's military could not get close. All the ships just vanished without any explosion or energy reading." Hyunwoo walked over to the main viewing screen. The mysterious ship looked like a giant metal whale floating in the darkness of space. Its surface was smooth and black, with strange blue lights that pulsed like a heartbeat. The ship was beautiful in a way that made him feel sad, though he did not know why. "Sir, the Galactic Council has ordered all ships to stay away," said Security Chief Woo Jin Jang. "They say it is a Class X hazard. That means instant death for anyone who goes near it. But we are not just anyone," Hyunwoo said with a small smile. "We are humans. We do things differently." Dr. Park shook her head. "Captain, this could be a trap. What if the ship is waiting for more victims?" Hyunwoo looked at the beacon signal again. The message was repeating the same words over and over in what looked like ancient Korean, mixed with Old English. He could almost understand parts of it, but not everything. It felt like trying to remember a dream that was slipping away. "There is something special about this ship," he said. "I can feel it. The beacon is calling to us specifically. Think about it. Why would it be broadcasting in Earth languages if it was not meant for humans?" Navigator Min-ho Kang checked his star charts. "Captain, if we approach slowly and carefully, we can be ready to jump away if the ship attacks us. But I have to warn you, if this thing can make other ships disappear, our escape might not work." Medical Officer Yoon Ji-han looked up from her station. "Sir, I have been reading the reports from the lost ships. There were no distress calls, no signs of weapons being fired, no energy readings at all. The ships were just there one moment and gone the next. It is like they never existed." Tactical Officer Ji Hee-yoon was checking the New Seoul's weapons and shields. "Our ship is not built for fighting, Captain. If that thing decides to attack us, we will not be able to defend ourselves." Hyunwoo understood their fears. He was scared too, but something deep inside him was telling him that this was important. Humans had always been curious, sometimes too curious for their own good. But that curiosity had also led them to the stars and to all the amazing discoveries they had made. "Set course for the ship," he ordered, "but go slowly. Keep our shields up and be ready to jump away at the first sign of danger." The crew looked at each other with worried faces, but they followed his orders. That was what made them a good team. They trusted each other even when they were afraid. As the New Seoul moved closer to the mysterious vessel, Hyunwoo could see more details. The ship was not just big, it was enormous. It could probably hold 1,000,000 people inside. The blue lights on its surface were getting brighter, and new patterns were appearing that looked almost like writing. "Captain, we are at 60 kilometers and closing," reported Min-ho. Still no response from the ship. 55 kilometers, Eugene called out. "The beacon is getting stronger." Hyunwoo held his breath as they passed the 50-kilometer mark where all the other ships had disappeared. Nothing happened. The New Seoul kept moving forward safely. 40 kilometers. "Still nothing," said Taemin, who sounded surprised. 30 kilometers. "The ship is not attacking us," added Ji-hai, who seemed confused. Then something amazing happened. The mysterious ship started to glow with a warm golden light. The beacon signal suddenly became clear, and Eugène's eyes went wide with shock. "Captain, you need to hear this," she said, her voice shaking. "The ship is talking to us. The bridge speakers crackled to life, and a voice spoke in perfect Korean. "Welcome. Children of Terra, we have been waiting for you to come home." Hyunwoo felt his heart skip a beat. Terra was the old name for Earth, a name that only humans used. How could this alien ship know that name? The voice continued, "Please come aboard. There is much you need to learn about who you really are and where you come from. Your people have been away for too long." Dr. Park stared at the ship with her mouth open. "That is impossible. This ship has been here for only 3 years, but it talks like it has been waiting for us for much longer." 20 kilometers in closing, reported Minho. "The ship is opening what looks like a docking bay." Hyunwoo made his decision. "Take us in. We are going to find out what this ship wants and why it knows about Earth." As the new soul moved toward the docking bay, Hyunwoo could not shake the feeling that this moment would change everything for humanity. They were about to discover something that had been hidden for a very long time, something that would make them question everything they thought they knew about their place in the galaxy. The golden light from the ship grew brighter, and for the first time in 3 years, the mysterious vessel that had destroyed every alien ship was finally going to reveal its secrets to the one species it had been waiting for all along. The docking bay of the mysterious ship was unlike anything engineer Taemin Lee had ever seen. As he led the boarding party through the airlock, he expected to find the usual metal corridors and flashing lights that most ships had. Instead, he found himself walking through what looked like a garden. The walls were covered with plants that glowed softly in the darkness. The floor felt like grass under his boots even though he was wearing a full spacesuit. The air that his suit was testing showed perfect oxygen levels and no dangerous chemicals. It was like someone had built a park inside a spaceship. "This does not make sense," said Dr. Sojin Park, who was scanning everything with her equipment. "The ship looks like solid metal from the outside, but inside it feels alive." Captain Hyunwoo Kim walked beside them, looking around in wonder. "Stay together and keep recording everything. We need to document all of this." The corridor seemed to stretch on forever, but somehow they reached a large circular room in just a few minutes. The room was filled with floating screens that showed star maps and data that scrolled by too fast to read. In the center of the room, a blue light began to form into the shape of a person. "Do not be afraid," said the blue figure in perfect Korean. "I am the keeper of this vessel. I have been waiting a very long time to meet humans again." Communications Officer Yoo-jin Choi stepped forward carefully. "Again? We have never been here before." The keeper smiled, and somehow, even though it was just made of light, the smile looked sad. "You have not been here, but your people have. This ship was built by humans many thousands of years ago." "That is impossible," said Dr. Park. "Humans only left Earth 300 years ago. We have records of our entire history." The keeper waved its hand, and the floating screens changed to show images of planets and stars. "Your records only go back to when your ancestors started over on the world you call Earth. But before that, humans lived on many worlds across the galaxy. We were explorers, builders, and dreamers." Taemin was studying the walls and ceiling of the room. The technology was far beyond anything humans had today. The ship could create artificial gravity that felt natural, lights that did not hurt to look at, and materials that seemed to fix themselves when damaged. "If humans built this ship, why does it attack alien vessels?" asked Captain Hyunwoo. The keeper's expression grew dark. "Because the aliens cannot be trusted. They destroyed our people once before, and they will do it again if given the chance." Yoo-jin was working on her equipment, trying to connect to the ship's communication system. "I am reading thousands of different human languages in the ship's memory banks. Some of these languages died out on Earth thousands of years ago." "How is that possible?" "Because this ship is old," the keeper explained. "We have been traveling through space for over 10,000 years, keeping the memory of what really happened to humanity alive." Dr. Park was taking readings with her scanner. "The ship's database is enormous. It contains genetic information about every known alien species in the galaxy." She paused and looked at her readings again. "Wait, this is strange. Every alien species is marked as either compatible or threat in the database. What does that mean?" asked Taemin. The keeper gestured to the screens, which now showed images of different alien races. "Your ancestors studied every species they met. They learned which ones could be trusted and which ones would try to destroy humanity." "And what did they find?" Captain Hyunwoo asked, though he was not sure he wanted to know the answer. "Only humans are marked as compatible," the keeper said quietly. "Every other species in this galaxy, the Valerians, the Zenthari, the Kreks, all of them are marked as threats." Yujin felt her heart sink. But we work with those species every day. They are part of the Galactic Council. They helped us when we first went into space. They helped you because they thought you were weak and harmless, the Keeper said. The alien species you trust today are the same ones who destroyed the great human civilization that existed before. The room fell silent as the boarding party tried to understand what they were hearing. Taemin walked over to one of the screens and studied the technical data. The ship's computers were more advanced than anything in the current galaxy. They could analyze matter at the atomic level and rebuild it into anything needed. Show us what happened, Dr. Park said. If our ancestors were really that advanced, what destroyed them? The Keeper waved its hand again, and the screens began showing what looked like historical records. The images were clear and detailed, like watching a movie of real events that had happened long ago. They saw human cities on dozens of different worlds. The cities were beautiful, with tall buildings that seemed to grow like trees and vehicles that floated through the air without making any noise. Humans lived alongside nature instead of destroying it, and their technology worked with the environment instead of against it. This was the golden age of humanity, the Keeper explained. Your people had learned to live in peace with each other and to explore the galaxy without destroying the planets they found. What changed? Asked Captain Hyunwoo. The images on the screens grew darker. They showed alien fleets attacking human worlds. The attacks were not random or accidental. They were planned and coordinated. Different alien species worked together to destroy human cities and kill human civilians. The other species formed an alliance against humanity, the Keeper said. They called it the Benevolent Coalition. They said humans were too dangerous to be allowed to continue growing and exploring. Yujin watched in horror as the screens showed human planets being destroyed one by one. Why did they think humans were dangerous? Because humans are different, the Keeper replied. Humans can adapt to any environment. Humans can learn any skill. Humans can work with any other species. Most importantly, humans can change and grow in ways that other species cannot. Taemin was beginning to understand. They were afraid of us. Yes, the Keeper said. They were afraid that eventually, humans would become more advanced than them. They were afraid that humans would take over the galaxy. So they decided to destroy humanity before that could happen. The screen showed the final battles of the war. Human ships fought bravely, but they were outnumbered 1,000 to 1. The alien alliance had the advantage of surprise and numbers. But some humans escaped, Dr. Park said, looking at the images of small ships fleeing the destruction. A few managed to get away, the Keeper confirmed. They found a small remote world and started over. They called that world Earth. Over time, they forgot about their history among the stars and believed they had evolved on that one planet. Captain Hyunwoo felt like the weight of the entire galaxy had fallen on his shoulders. And this ship? This is the Eternal Vigil, one of 12 ships that were sent out to find and protect any surviving humans. We have been searching for 10,000 years, waiting for humanity to return to space so we could find you. The boarding party stood in stunned silence, trying to process everything they had learned. Their entire understanding of human history and their place in the galaxy had just been turned upside down. What happens now? Yujin asked quietly. Chief Science Officer Dong-Hyun Seo could not believe what he was seeing. The Keeper had led them deeper into the Eternal Vigil, and every room they entered was more amazing than the last. The ship was not just advanced, it was like something from a dream. These are the manufacturing bays, the Keeper explained as they walked through a room that seemed to go on forever. Machines floated in the air, building things that Dong-Hyun could not even identify. Your ancestors could create anything they needed, from simple tools to entire spaceships. Dr. Sojin Park was taking readings with every piece of equipment she had. The energy readings are off the charts. This one room produces more power than our entire ship uses in a year. How is that possible? Asked engineer Taemin Lee. He was studying the floating machines, trying to understand how they worked without any visible power source. Your ancestors learned to use the energy that exists in empty space itself, the Keeper said. They did not need to burn fuel or split atoms. They could pull power directly from the fabric of reality. Captain Hyunwoo Kim watched as one of the machines created a small device that looked like a hand tool. The machine did not use any raw materials that he could see. It just reached into the air and pulled matter together to form the device. What kind of weapons does this ship have? Asked Tactical Officer Ji Hee-yoon. She was trying to understand how the ship had destroyed so many alien vessels without anyone seeing it fire any weapons. The keeper gestured to another part of the room. Come, I will show you the defense systems. But you must understand, these are not just weapons. They are tools for reshaping reality itself. They followed the keeper to a section of the ship that felt different from the rest. The walls here were darker, and the air felt heavy with potential energy. Donghyun's equipment started making warning sounds. This is the reality manipulation chamber, the keeper said. From here, the ship can change the basic laws of physics in a small area of space. Change the laws of physics? Dr. Park repeated. That sounds impossible. Nothing is impossible if you understand how the universe really works, the keeper replied. Your ancestors discovered that what most species think of as solid reality is actually very flexible. They learned to bend space, stretch time, and rewrite matter at the quantum level. Medical officer Yoon-ji Han was scanning the chamber with her medical equipment. I am reading some kind of biological components in the ship's systems. Is this ship partly alive? In a way, yes, the keeper said. The ship can grow and repair itself. It can also create biological weapons that are designed to target specific species, while leaving others completely unharmed. Donghyun felt a chill run down his spine. You mean this ship could create a disease that would kill all Valarians but leave humans untouched? Not just could, the ship has complete genetic maps of every known species. It could eliminate any alien race in a matter of days if needed. Captain Hyunwoo looked uncomfortable. That sounds like genocide. The keeper's expression became serious. It is the same thing the aliens did to humanity 10,000 years ago. They created weapons that targeted human genetics specifically. Entire human worlds died not from explosions, but from diseases that only affected humans. Show us, Dr. Park said quietly. The keeper activated a display that showed the final days of the ancient human civilization. The images were horrible to watch. Human cities where everyone had simply collapsed and died at the same time. Children, elderly people, everyone, killed by invisible weapons that attacked their DNA. The aliens called it a humane solution, the keeper said with bitterness in its voice. They said it was better than destroying planets with explosives because it left the worlds intact for other species to use. Taemin was studying the ship's manufacturing systems. You said there are 12 ships like this one? Yes, scattered throughout the galaxy, the keeper confirmed. Each one is waiting for humans to find them and claim them. Together, they could build a fleet that would make the current galactic powers look like children playing with toys. Yoonji made a disturbing discovery while examining the biological systems. These genetic samples are not just for creating weapons. The ship can use them to improve humans as well. It could make us stronger, smarter, more resistant to disease. That is correct, the keeper said. Your ancestors were working on the next step of human evolution when they were destroyed. This ship can continue that work. Ji-hai was looking at the tactical displays. With weapons like these, humans could take over the entire galaxy. We could make sure that what happened to our ancestors never happens again. Or, Dr. Park said slowly, we could become the very thing that the aliens were afraid of. We could become the destroyers that they said we would become. Donghyun was beginning to understand the terrible choice they were facing. The Eternal Vigil was not just a ship, it was a test. It was asking humanity what kind of species they wanted to be. What did our ancestors plan to do with all this power? Captain Hyunwoo asked. The keeper showed them another display, this one showing human cities that looked even more advanced than the ones they had seen before. These cities seemed to exist in multiple dimensions at once, and the humans in them looked different, taller, more graceful, with eyes that seemed to hold infinite wisdom. They were planning to transcend physical existence entirely, the keeper explained, to become beings of pure energy and thought, free from the limitations of matter and time. What stopped them? Hyunji asked. The alien alliance attacked before the process could be completed.
Only a few humans achieved transcendence before the end.
The rest died as mortals. Taemin was working with one of the manufacturing machines trying to understand its basic principles. Could we complete what they started? Could we use this technology to evolve beyond what we are now? Yes, the keeper said. But evolution requires choice. You must decide what humanity will become. Communications Officer Yoo-jin Choi had been quietly working at one of the ship's communication stations. Suddenly she looked up with alarm. Captain, I am picking up signals from outside. There is a large fleet approaching our position. Captain Hyunwoo moved to the communication station. How large? Over 200 ships, sir. They are from every major alien species, Valarians, Anthari, Kreks, and others. They are all working together, and they are armed for battle. The Keeper's expression grew dark. It seems the Galactic Council has decided that humanity has learned too much. They are coming to finish what their ancestors started. Donghyun looked at the reality manipulation systems around them. Can this ship destroy all of them? Easily, the Keeper replied. The Eternal Vigil could eliminate the entire fleet in minutes, but that would mean starting a war that would spread across the galaxy. How long before they arrive? Captain Hyunwoo asked. 6 hours, Yujin reported. The captain looked around at his crew, seeing the fear and uncertainty in their faces. They had 6 hours to decide the fate of humanity and possibly the entire galaxy. Should they use the ancient weapons to destroy their enemies or try to find another way? What would our ancestors have done? Dr. Park asked quietly. The Keeper was quiet for a long moment. Your ancestors were planning to transcend violence entirely. They believed that true evolution meant leaving behind the need to destroy others in order to survive. But they never got the chance to prove that. Ji-hai pointed out. They were destroyed before they could show that their way worked. Captain Hyunwoo stood in the center of the reality manipulation chamber, feeling the weight of 10,000 years of human history pressing down on him. In 6 hours, he would have to make a choice that would determine whether humanity would repeat the mistakes of the past or find a new way forward. The ancient ship hummed around them, waiting patiently for humanity to decide what kind of species they wanted to become. Security Chief Wu Jinjiang was studying the tactical displays with growing alarm. The alien fleet approaching their position was larger than anything he had ever seen. Every major power in the galaxy had sent their most advanced warships, and they were all working together with one goal: to destroy the Eternal Vigil and everyone aboard it. This is not just a patrol or an investigation, he reported to Captain Hyunwoo Kim. They have brought planet-killer weapons, ships that could destroy entire worlds. They are not coming to capture us or study the ship. They want to make sure we never leave this place alive. The Keeper stood beside them, its blue form flickering with what seemed like anger. The Galactic Council must have learned that you found one of the seed ships. They know that if humanity gains access to ancient technology, their control over the galaxy will end. Navigator Minho Kang was working frantically at his station. Captain, I can plot escape routes, but this ship is too large to hide easily. Even if we could get away, they would track us down eventually. Dr. Sojin Park was reading through the historical records that the Keeper had shown them. I keep thinking about what we learned. The same alien species that are coming to kill us now are the ones that present themselves as peaceful and civilized to the rest of the galaxy. They sit on the Galactic Council and make laws about protecting weaker species, while secretly planning to eliminate any species that might threaten their power, added Medical Officer Yoon Ji-han. It makes me wonder how many other species they have destroyed over the years. Engineer Tae-min Lee was working with the ship systems, learning how to operate the reality manipulation technology. The Eternal Vigil has enough firepower to destroy that entire fleet without breaking a sweat. We could send a message to the galaxy that humanity is not weak anymore. Tactical Officer Ji-hai Yoon was nodding in agreement. Sir, we have the chance to make sure that what happened to our ancestors never happens again. We could show the galaxy that humans are not victims anymore. But Communications Officer Yu Jin Choi had discovered something troubling. Captain, I have been monitoring their communications. They are telling their people that we are a dangerous infection that must be stopped before it spreads. They are saying that humans have found an ancient weapon and plan to use it to destroy peaceful worlds. Captain Hyunwoo felt sick to his stomach. They are making us look like the aggressors. Even if we defend ourselves, they will use it as proof that humans are dangerous. The Keeper activated a display that showed the galaxy-wide communication networks. They have been preparing for this moment since humans first left Earth. Every time your species made a new discovery or showed signs of advancement, they watched and planned. Chief Science Officer Dong-hyun Seo was studying the long-range sensors. The fleet is spreading out to surround us completely. They want to make sure we cannot escape in any direction. How long until they are in firing range? Captain Hyunwoo asked. 3 hours, Minho reported. But sir, they have weapons that can reach us from much farther away. They could start shooting at any time. The crew was starting to divide into two groups. One group, led by Ji-hee, believed they should use the ship's weapons to destroy the alien fleet completely. "We have the power to protect ourselves and send a clear message," she argued. "If we do not act now, they will hunt down every human in the galaxy." The other group, led by Dr. Park, believed that using the ancient weapons would only prove that the aliens were right to fear humanity. "If we destroy that fleet, we become the monsters they say we are. We will start a war that could destroy the entire galaxy." Wu Jin was torn between his duty to protect the crew and his fear of what they might become. "Captain, I understand both sides, but we need to make a decision soon. That fleet is not going to wait for us to figure out the right thing to do." The keeper had been quiet during the argument, but now it spoke up. "There is something else you should know. The ancient humans had developed a final protocol before they were destroyed. Something they called the Truth Protocol." "What is that?" Captain Hyun-woo asked. "Your ancestors discovered that the most powerful weapon is not violence but truth. They created a way to broadcast information across the entire galaxy instantly, making it impossible for anyone to hide or lie about what really happened." Yujin's eyes lit up with understanding. "You mean we could tell everyone in the galaxy the real history? Show them what the Galactic Council species really did to humanity?" "Exactly," the keeper said. "The reality manipulation technology can be used for more than just weapons. It can also be used to share memories and experiences directly, making it impossible for anyone to deny or distort the truth." Dong Hyun was beginning to see the possibilities. "We could show the entire galaxy the historical records. Every world, every species, every individual would see exactly what happened during the Great Purge." "But would they believe it?" Yoonji asked. "What if they think we are lying or manipulating the information?" "The Truth Protocol does not just share information," the keeper explained. "It shares actual memories and experiences. When someone receives a Truth Protocol transmission, they do not just see what happened. They feel it as if they lived through it themselves." Taemin was working with the ship's communication systems. This technology could reach every communication network in the galaxy at the same time. Every television, every computer, every personal device. No one could avoid seeing it. "And what happens after we show them the truth?" Dr. Park asked. The keeper's expression was uncertain. "That would depend on how each species chooses to respond. Some might feel guilt and try to make amends. Others might become angry and fight even harder to maintain their power." Captain Hyun-woo was walking back and forth across the bridge, trying to think through all the possibilities. "If we use the weapons, we become killers and prove they were right to fear us. If we run away, they will hunt us down and eventually destroy all humans. But if we show them the truth, we give them a choice," Dr. Park finished. "We let them decide what kind of galaxy they want to live in." Ji-hee was not convinced. "What if they choose to ignore the truth? What if they decide that they do not care about what their ancestors did? Then at least we will know where everyone stands," Captain Hyun-woo said. "And the rest of the galaxy will know too. We cannot force people to be good, but we can make sure they cannot hide behind lies anymore." Wu Jin checked the tactical display again. "Captain, the fleet will be here in 2 hours. If we are going to do this Truth Protocol, we need to start soon." The keeper moved to the center of the reality manipulation chamber. "The process will take approximately 1 hour to reach every corner of the galaxy. Once it begins, it cannot be stopped or controlled. Every sentient being in the galaxy will experience the complete history of what was done to humanity." Captain Hyun-woo looked around at his crew, seeing the determination in their faces. They had come here looking for answers to a mystery, and instead they had found the key to changing the entire galaxy. "Will this stop the fleet from attacking us?" Yujin asked. "Some ships might stop when their crews learn the truth," the keeper replied. "Others might attack even more fiercely to prevent the truth from spreading further." Dr. Park stepped forward. "Captain, I think this is what our ancestors would have wanted. They were planning to transcend violence, not perfect it. Taemin was already working on preparing the Truth Protocol systems. Sir, the ship is ready to begin transmission whenever you give the order." Captain Hyun-woo took a deep breath and made his decision. "Do it. Show the galaxy the truth about what really happened to humanity. Let every species decide for themselves what kind of civilization they want to be part of." The eternal vigil began to hum with energy as the Truth Protocol activated, preparing to change the galaxy forever. The Truth Protocol began as a whisper that grew into a roar across the galaxy. Captain Hyun-woo Kim watched from the bridge of the eternal vigil, as reality manipulation technology reached into every corner of known space, touching every communication network, every device, every screen that could display information. Transmission is at 15% and spreading, reported communications. Officer Eugene Choi. The signal is reaching the inner worlds. Now, the keeper stood beside them, its blue form glowing brighter as the ship channeled enormous amounts of energy into the broadcast. Every sentient being in the galaxy is now experiencing the memories of the Great Purge. They are feeling what it was like to watch their children die from genetic weapons, to see their cities burn, to know that extinction was coming and there was nothing they could do to stop it. Chief Science Officer Dong-Hyun Seo was monitoring the reactions from across the galaxy. I am picking up communication spikes everywhere. Entire planets are going silent as their populations process what they are seeing. On the tactical display, Security Chief Wu Jin Jiang watched the approaching alien fleet with growing amazement. Captain, something is happening to the attacking ships. Several Zenthari vessels have stopped firing their engines. 3 Valerian cruisers are turning away from our position. But not all the ships were stopping. The largest vessels in the fleet, mostly from the Krex Empire and the Valerian Military Command, were accelerating toward the Eternal Vigil with their weapons charging. Some of them do not care about the truth, said Tactical Officer Ji Hye-yoon grimly. They are going to attack anyway. Dr. So-jin Park was reading reports that were coming in from across the galaxy. The truth is spreading faster than anyone can control it. Entire worlds are demanding explanations from their governments. The Zenthari Council is in emergency session. The Valerian Parliament has suspended all military operations. Engineer Tae-min Lee was working with the ship's defensive systems. Captain, about 60 ships are still approaching with hostile intent. They will be in weapons range in 30 minutes. Captain Hyunwoo had to make another impossible decision. The truth protocol was working, but it would not save them from the ships that were still determined to destroy them. Can we defend ourselves without killing everyone aboard those ships? The keeper nodded. The Eternal Vigil has non-lethal weapons as well. We can disable their ships without destroying them. Do it, Captain Hyunwoo ordered. But try not to hurt anyone if possible. The ancient ship's reality manipulation systems reached out toward the attacking vessels. Instead of destroying them, the ship simply made their weapons stop working. Energy cannons became inert metal. Missile launchers forgot how to fire. Shield generators turned into empty boxes. The remaining ships are dead in space, reported Wu Jin. They cannot attack us, but they also cannot escape. Meanwhile, the truth protocol was having effects that none of them had expected. Yu Jin was receiving messages from across the galaxy as the complete history of humanity's destruction spread to every world. Captain, you need to hear some of these reports, she said. On Zenthar Prime, the entire government has resigned. They are demanding that reparations be paid to humanity for the crimes of their ancestors. The Valerian Emperor has issued a public apology and ordered all military forces to stand down, added Dong-Hyun. He is calling for a new galactic government that includes human representation. But the most amazing report came from the Krex homeworld. The Krex people are overthrowing their government, Eugene said with disbelief in her voice. They are saying that their leaders lied to them about humanity, and that they refuse to be part of another genocide. Medical Officer Yoon Ji-han was monitoring the biological systems aboard the ship. She had been working on something with the keeper for the past hour, and now she looked up with excitement. Captain, I think we have found something incredible. The ship can do more than just share memories. What do you mean? Captain Hyunwoo asked. The keeper has shown me the final project that our ancestors were working on before they were destroyed, Yoonji explained. They were developing a way to enhance evolution itself, not just making people stronger or smarter, but making them better. The keeper activated a display that showed complex genetic and psychological patterns. Your ancestors discovered that violence and hatred are not natural parts of intelligence. They are flaws that can be corrected through careful enhancement. Dr. Park studied the data with growing amazement. This would make it psychologically impossible for someone to commit genocide or mass violence. They would still be able to defend themselves, but they could not deliberately try to destroy entire populations. And it works on any species, the keeper added, not just humans. The enhancement could be shared with any race that chooses to accept it. Tae-min was beginning to understand the implications. We could offer this to every species in the galaxy. Anyone who wants to evolve beyond violence could do so. But it has to be a choice, Captain Hyunwoo said firmly. We cannot force anyone to change. The Truth Protocol was now complete, and its effects were rippling across the galaxy. Some worlds embraced the revelation and demanded change from their governments. Others rejected it and tried to suppress the information. The galaxy was dividing into two camps, those who wanted to learn from the past and those who wanted to repeat it. Captain, Yujin reported, we are receiving transmission requests from over 1,000 different worlds. Everyone wants to talk to us. Captain Hyunwoo made his final decision. Open a channel to the entire galaxy. It is time for humanity to speak to everyone at once. When the channel opened, Captain Hyunwoo found himself speaking to billions of beings across thousands of worlds. My name is Captain Hyunwoo Kim of the human exploration vessel New Seoul. You have all seen the truth about what happened to humanity 10,000 years ago. Now you must decide what kind of galaxy you want to live in. He paused, choosing his words carefully. We have found technology that our ancestors left behind. Technology that could destroy any species that threatens us. But we have also found something else. A way to evolve beyond the need for violence and hatred. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Some species demanded access to the enhancement technology. Others rejected it as unnatural manipulation. Still others wanted to negotiate new treaties and alliances. We will share this evolution with any species that chooses it freely, Captain Hyunwoo continued. We will not force anyone to change, but we will also not allow anyone to threaten those who do choose to evolve. Dr. Park stepped forward to add her voice to the broadcast. The ancient humans were planning to transcend physical existence entirely, to become beings of pure energy and thought. But they never got the chance to complete their evolution. We can finish what they started, but only if we do it together. Over the following months, the galaxy transformed in ways that no one had expected. Almost half of all known species chose to accept the evolutionary enhancement, creating the first truly peaceful multi-species alliance in galactic history. They called themselves the United Evolved Worlds. The other half of the galaxy rejected the enhancement, preferring to maintain their capacity for violence and domination. They formed their own alliance, calling themselves the Free Worlds Coalition, claiming that the enhancement was a form of mind control. Captain Hyunwoo found himself serving as humanity's first ambassador to the new galactic order. The Eternal Vigil became the flagship of the United Evolved Worlds, no longer a weapon of war, but a symbol of hope for a better future. The other 11 seed ships were found and activated, but instead of creating a human fleet of conquest, they became research vessels and schools where any species could come to learn about advanced technology and peaceful evolution. 50 years later, Ambassador Haewon Shin, Captain Kim's daughter who had grown up in the new galaxy, stood before the United Evolved Worlds Assembly. Half the galaxy had chosen evolution and peace, creating a civilization unlike anything that had existed before. Wars still happened in the Free Worlds Coalition, but they could no longer threaten the evolved worlds. Today marks the 50th anniversary of the Truth Protocol, she announced to representatives from hundreds of species. 50 years ago, my father and his crew had to choose between revenge and evolution. They chose evolution, and because of that choice, billions of beings across the galaxy have been able to live in peace. She looked out at the assembly, seeing humans, Synthari, reformed Valerians, and dozens of other species working together as equals. The ancient humans dreamed of transcending violence and hatred. That dream is now reality for everyone who chooses it. But even as she spoke, Ambassador Shin knew that the work was not finished. The Free Worlds Coalition still existed, still threatened peaceful worlds, still believed that might made right. The galaxy remained divided between those who chose evolution and those who chose stagnation. Yet humanity was no longer alone, and they were no longer going anywhere. They had found their place among the stars not as conquerors, but as teachers and guardians of a dream that had taken 10,000 years to fulfill. The Eternal Vigil continued its journey through space, no longer searching for lost humans, but helping to build a future where no species would ever again face